Like you, it's not very, why are you thinking I was level 300? They don't get out of there. I'm just happy that the world keeps turning my direction, like many gifts. I have a sad dollar that offered me the US to go north. I have a happy dollar. And I guess the third dollar was he's right. They do not need, and I think there's club up there. They do not need it. This is a 5, and this last week the food pantry. Sorry about that. They made it into Michigan last night. I've never done it. Unfortunately, I'm going to be hopefully heading up Friday to a funeral visitation service in Eastern customer what you're sort of my original district. But Kevin was all 53. So that got accused by a shot. He was can't say this way, but Kevin was truly one of the guys. He really was. He was a good dog. Thank you. I'm going to get ready for our program. Our guest this morning is Tom, if I say LaCanta, Lancia. Oh, business. Okay. I taught school for 30 years. I thought I could get it, but I don't know. That's the way it goes. I apologize. Well, and as I understand, Chairman of the Creve Chamber of Commerce, Executive Director. That's very good. Creve all that. Creve all that. All right, very good. Wow, you guys are booming over there. All that. Holy cow. Well, good morning. Thank you for having me. You guys are the spirit of St. Louis Rotary. I mean, we're growing and expanding, right? That's what I've been doing about. So it's not just Oakland anymore. You know, it includes Creve and Westport and different areas. So again, my name is Tom Lancia. I'm the Executive Director for the Creve Olivet Chamber of Commerce. Happy to be here this morning. I'm also happy that it's at a coffee shop because I was meeting my coffee this morning. I've been with the Chamber since November of 2019, so a couple months right before COVID. So it's been an interesting transition, but it's been a good one. Just a little bit about me. I'm from St. Louis. I've been here my whole life. I'm 46, married, have 2 kids, and before I came to the Chamber, I actually used to work in ministry for 20 years, and then found myself looking for something different and another way to serve the community. And so, and I found it in the Chamber, and it's been a really good experience for me, and hopefully for everyone that I'm trying to serve. So, and I'm excited to talk to all of you as well, because I know that is the heart of the Rotary, is to serve and to make connections and serve in veterans community, right? And This is my first Rotary meeting, so I'm excited to be here. So our chamber, like I said, Alan and Dan are part of invited me, and I appreciate that. And it's we even though our name is Creve Olivet, that's where our focus is. I mean, we obviously have people from all over that come to our chamber a lot of times because it's about where you want to do business. And for those of you who don't know as much about chambers, I mean, our mission is to be a strong advocate for our businesses, for our members, for organizations. And we're made up of primarily of small business owners. I mean, we do have big corporations and big companies, like BJC and Bear and stuff like that. But we have a lot of small business owners in our chamber, and we also have a lot of we have a good number of charities as well, and some other organizations in our chamber. And so it's been my goal to support them the best way I can. And so a lot of people join chambers for different reasons. I think probably the number one reason people join is to network, to grow their business, right? So you'll find in our chamber, we do a lot. We have stuff every week. So we have 3 different networking groups that meet every month, and they're specific, like they're industry exclusive, so they get a variety of businesses together that meet every week. But we also have lots of other social networking groups anyone can come to. We have our coffee connections every month. We have our luncheons every month. We have after hours. We have professionals. So we have a lot of just regular meetings every month to get people together at different times because everyone's schedule is different as well. So that's something that you try to be aware of, right? Like not everybody can do the morning thing, but some people prefer that because they have to do that, get there before work, whatever it is. So making sure that we can have those outlets of connection. And for me too, it's about making it a really productive environment as well. I think one of the greatest compliments I think I get a lot of times is people really feel welcome and engagement from our chamber. It's really important to me because I always believe that people don't care what you have to say until they know you care. So it's my job to first show you all that I genuinely care about, you and your success and what's going on in your life. Because why would you care what I have to say? Unless you know that I generally want what's best for you. So, and I see that a lot in the people we work with. They want to build each other up, and they know that there's a benefit in supporting one another. There's other reasons why people do it too, obviously. The promotion of their business. We do lots of events. We have 2 different golf tournaments. We have an awards dinner and auction, which I'm really proud of because it's not just a way to raise money and show it's kind of responsive, but it's special for me because we're highly first responders. So we honor a police officer and firefighter of the year for 3 or 4, Olivet, and for St. Louis County. And just to make sure we're doing a good job too, like showing appreciation to our community and all those aspects and just making a difference. So, because obviously a strong business community makes a big difference in our community, but so does strong charities like yours, strong, safety, and all these different things. So everything is important and valued. So another reason why people, so we have those kind of events. We also do fun ones like game nights and trivia nights and rock and roll bingo and stuff like that. So there's something going all the time. So that's why coffee is generally important. And I always feel like it's around food, which is also fitting for me because I'm Italian. So I feel like so much business goes around food. Another interesting fact about chambers that some people don't know about is, especially here in Missouri, that we do have a small business between 2 and 50 employees. You can benefit from the chamber benefit. I should say you're eligible. So some people join simply to get this insurance because they save so much money on their medical insurance that they get the chamber. They join the chamber for it. But there's also but sometimes too, we get a lot of members that will give benefits to each other, for member discounts and stuff like that, which is another great benefit. Obviously, you probably heard of ribbon cuttings and grand openings and all that kind of stuff that, the chambers do. And we don't actually charge for those for our members. We're happy to do it. It's another way to promote them and get them started. And another aspect is we try to make sure we're also having good relationships with our cities. So the fact that we are in Creve and all of that, and we have regular communication with the cities, helps us. We can express concerns of our businesses, the organizations with those cities. They can let us know what's going on. But updates are going on, things to be excited about, be prepared for. So that also has been really good, and that's a relationship that we continue to foster and then work on. And the other reason why people join chambers too is credibility. They know that I want to do business with people that I trust, right? And most people that do business with people from a chamber are more likely to trust them, because they're an aspect of the community. They know that they're not just some thing on the internet. We've all had those sad stories of somebody who paid money to have some work done and then they didn't show up. So those are a couple of those things, and I would be mindful. I can't remember how much time I have, but the other thing I pointed out, some people as an organization like the Rotary, I figured I'd point out we do have a good number of nonprofits that are in our chamber as well. And when a nonprofit joins our chamber, we have special discounts for them, especially if they're joined by volunteers. The membership of the year is like $110. So, and I think our charities also benefit a lot because they get to meet a lot of different business organizations, and a lot of our businesses want to be good stewards too, right? They want to have connections. They do their own drives and stuff like that. So it's one of those things that I would encourage you, if you've never been to one of our meetings, you're always welcome to come as a guest and just come check it out. And just meet some people. It's and like I said, there's always a different activity, different player with that. And let's see here. Another aspect too, outside of our networking meetings and all that kind of stuff, we also do a lot of meetings that help put the things together. So if there's ever something that, that's another great way to be connected with people. We also have a little bit of say on how things are organized and within our organization. And we continue to add. I'm one of those people that if you have an idea, I'm gonna listen to it because I'm not gonna pretend like I know it because I don't. There's a lot of great gifts in this room, and there's a lot of good gifts in every aspect of our organization. So I try to be mindful of that. So one of the new meetings that we just started is the hiring huddle. We'll see how it goes. It's basically another networking meeting, but it's designed for business owners and recruiters that are looking to hire. As we all know, there's not an organization out there that ends up trying to hire people. So if we can help locally staff our businesses and with good people, then let's do that. Because sometimes what happens is you meet people and they're great, but they're not good for your business. They may be good for somebody else, or you're focused on recruiting IT people, but this person is looking for a manager or whatever it might be. And so the thought that's an evolving group that we just started a couple months ago. It's starting to grow and with all that. So and in any ways that we can continue that. And another meeting that we host is VetNet Connect, which is where I met Al. And I'm sure some of you might have been there before. It's really kind of run by the Kaufman Fund, which is a veteran organization. And so we try to help partner with them to promote that work. And that's another great organization of different business people, charities, organizations that come together on a regular every month to see how they can support veterans. So and that was another event we try to add to our calendars and stuff like that. And there's other little things, like we have our own website where people can check out our directories. We can put job postings. People can post their community events. those type of things as well. And we have ways to advertise outside of our events. We also have a digital billboard. We have emails that we can send out, social media, many of those type of things. So, so that's kind of like in a nutshell, like some of the things that we're going on. We're always continuing to try to build our system a little bit and how we can better serve. But a little bit about the Creve that Chamber of Commerce. And is there any questions for me?
A couple things. Membership wise, and certainly known as you guys are on pretty active chamber. How are you guys doing on membership, and how generally is it been with membership in chambers? Is it declining or is it maintaining?
No, I'm glad you asked. So it's been growing. At least definitely for us, it's been growing. So as of today, I think we're at 368 businesses, people in our chamber. Because people join as an organization. So unless you're, obviously some people are one person in their business, but and I will tell you, when I joined, COVID hit, obviously there was no growth happening at that point. But so we just hunkered down and just tried to support our members until people found some stability. And but ever since 2021, January 2021, we've had steady new members every month. Like the last month, we had 10 new members. So we've just continued to grow. And I also take a lot of pride in retaining a lot of our members too. So, this past year, I think we retained about 86% of our members, which for an association, that's a good number. And I think it's because, one, people find value in it, but also when people came out of COVID, I think people had lost some of those regular connections that they were making. They didn't know how to connect with people anymore. So this was an organized way to reconnect, and I'll tell you, we didn't stop. So like, even when being in St. Louis County, all the restrictions, like we would meet, we just follow the restrictions. So you told me only 10 people can be in the room. Well, we'll put 10 people in the room and zoom in the rest or whatever it was. So I tried to do whatever I could to keep it going. Coming from youth ministry, I guess I was a little more flexible. I didn't really have, I wasn't really worried about doing things a particular way, like it was in history. So, but and I was used to trying to serve, because in my old position, I used to actually serve all the parishes of the Archdiocese and try to training and support in large events. So, so that's good. That's why I kind of related really well when coming over to the chamber. But I'll have a question. Sorry.
Yeah, on the event you have, would it be possible for our Rotary to have a booth? Are they big enough for that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, yes. I mean, depends on what you want to do. Like, obviously, we have a golf tournament coming up, so some people are whole sponsors, like Dan and stuff like that. They sit on the hole, and it's a way to kind of greet everybody as they go through. As far as booths go, I'm just trying to think of some of our events. So,
An alternative would be a great one.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most normal way to do it.
Recently, the hole, and one of our members sitting at the hole and in chat or hand out literature to each one of the golfers that's thinking about it.
Yeah.
I totally have the money, And what's what?
For this one is our 9-hole scramble, so it's just $65 for a whole sponsor. And then we do another big one in September, Bluffs, and that one that was a little bit more. I can't remember for a whole sponsor. But yeah, those are nice, relaxed way. You're obviously going to run into everybody because everyone's going to come through the hole, and they're in a good mood because they're not working. And but the reason why I hesitated was just because I didn't know of. I was trying to think of. We haven't done an expo since I've been there, as far as like a booth in that sense. But there's a lot of outlets to be at events. Yes.
I've got a question when it comes to the visual aids.
Oh, okay, good.
And I can post that.
Yeah.
So this is a map that we came up with, and this little dotted line here shows overlay. And that's when we were the overlay. Now that we're the Spirit of St. Louis Club, this is kind of our area. Princeton to town and country. So the first part of my question is, I know that Chamber of Commerce executive directors all know each other and you guys get together and coordinate and all that kind of stuff. How many chambers are in our area?
That is a very good question. I'm not 100% sure, but I can check on it for you.
Okay.
So, because you're,
You go from Bridgeton, Maryland Heights.
because obviously Sherry's over at Maryland Heights, so I know her.
So Maryland
Scott-
Heights has its own.
Yes, Maryland Heights has a chamber. Scott Tate over in St. Charles is a pretty large area in St. Charles. Because then that would fall in their region. Oh, okay. Stay safe. And then and how far south do you go? You said you went to,
Goes all the way to like west.
okay, there's a West County Chamber, which is kind of more Manchester, Baldwin, Knoxville.
Yeah.
You know, but, and then there's as far as like closest one, because it's good for your stopping point, right? So, because you wouldn't go into Clayton.
Yeah.
So you're doing that.
Clayton has its own.
Right. But I those are kind of, but I do have a list of the office, the chamber, so I could give you an updated chamber list.
So the second part of the question, with that knowledge, how can we? Is there any crossover? You know, Al's going to answer an activity, that's not going to be in a large sense, in a kind of civic sense. How can Rotary and Chamber work together?
Yeah, well, I will say too, there are some things we're trying to work on. We do an economic this, we do with a number of other chambers, so like our next one will be like November 9th. And I had a meeting yesterday to include more chambers into that. It's just another way to kind of bring us together regionally. And I did get an invitation to a happy hour that some of the chambers are putting together, which I can share with you as well. I just got it yesterday. But as far as like with the Rotary and some of the other chambers, I guess it's just a matter of us seeing where is a good plug-in when we're together, like all of us, if that's what you're wanting to do.
Well, the way I see it is, yeah, the Chamber's purpose is to promote local businesses.
Yeah.
And our organization takes those same local businesses and saying, how can they do charitable work in the community? So, yeah, it seems like there should be some crossover. But good crossover, not bad crossover.
No, it's great crossover. I mean, it's one of the things that, like I said, I came from doing charity work, you know, like, and so I love seeing the partnerships that happen. You know, I mean, that's where I see, you know, when I look at some of our charities and what they do, they partner well with their members. So like the Confident Fund, you know, they do their trees for vets and stuff like that, and a lot of our members support them in that. You know, like my mom, she volunteers with our assistant league with Fantastic Minds and stuff like that. And they're part of it, and a lot of our members will do some support for them or drives for that. And actually, the golf fund does grants, so if you ever apply for other charities as well, so keep that in mind. Like you guys could actually apply for those.
You've talked about a lot of meetings and so on and so forth. Where do you meet?
So then we do move around. So our luncheons have typically been at the Holiday Inn, Orlando's, Spazio's, mostly because one, the members into the space. Because, you know, we've had about 60 to 70 people at our luncheons lately, so you gotta have space to have lunch. So, and we, you know, our coffee meetings, our coffee connections, we move those around to member locations. It's a way to highlight them. Sometimes unless a member doesn't want to have their business, they can sponsor it, like hosted here. And then we have, our after hours or, you know, move around. Our young professionals have to meet at the single day bistro, stuff like that. So we kind of move around depending on the need and make sure we're highlighting everybody as best we can. So. Yeah.
Do you have a fundraising committee, and what is your largest fundraiser happening?
We do not have a fundraising committee. We do have a finance committee. We have an events committee, so the way we raise money we're a nonprofit, obviously, we're a nonprofit organization. So We raise our money through membership and through our events, basically, and any ways that we can drive revenue, obviously, but, so I would say our largest would be either our large golf tournament or our awards dinner and auction where we honor our police and firefighters. So, this past year, we had our larger, all our numbers have been growing, which has been great. So we had about 160 people at our awards dinner and auction, and so that was a great turn because we also did an auction with it. So
And about what did you net?
about just under 15,000. So we do a lot of different events, and and I think we're pretty affordable too. Like sometimes I look at our stuff and I'm like, a lot of people charge a lot more for their sponsorships and stuff like that. And so I'm always assessing that. But I also know that we have a lot of small business owners and they don't have a lot of money. And so, but if we can continue to, and my job is not to make a lot of money, my job is to grow our children. So that can happen without charging people a lot of money. But we, yeah, so those two, and then the golf tournament was, will have come up in September. I anticipate that one to do well. Because those two have been our larger ones, but they also have a larger numbers of people participating as well.
How much is it?
So say you're 1 to 3, this is the people in your business full time, it's 260. So, and it goes up from there. And to be honest, if you're on our website at ccochamber.com, I always tell people we do so many things. You go to ccochamber.com, when you click on the calendar and events, you can see things are coming up. You can click and check them out. Or click the join button, and then there's some information on there, which there's an offline membership application. I was pointing out to people because if you click on it, it gives you all the information. You don't have to, sometimes you can join online and it takes you to one page and then you go to the next page. If you click on that, it actually it gives you all the information I'm going to ask you for and the costs. So,
Very good.
thanks, Tim.
What type of growth? Obviously, as you came up, I mentioned all of that is exploding. What other kind of growth? I know Creve, I just read about it. They're going to redevelop the corner of there at Dallas and hopefully or possibly at Dallas and all.
Yeah, they're looking at that new development.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a full side. Here's one out of that, there's a lot going on. So, that all that crossing that I said, I mean, that's moving on. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, yeah, Casper across the street. So they, I mean, you just drive that out, there's a lot of just new development that's happened.
Why don't you try to drive it down?
I know, but we gotta go like, not at lunchtime. And, we all have our road. And, but then in critical, obviously, there's, that's something they're looking at. Bear also sold that big piece of property as well. They sold about, was it 500,000 square feet or something like because they're moving to a hybrid model. So, so they sold that to get land, and I think it's going to be like a multi-use space. There will be different shops and residential, whatever. So, there's a lot of things that are still to come, with that. And if I saw like Fridays has been closed right there on Allen, then that's probably going to be a Chick-fil-A. So it just got passed for allowed to drive through. And that's one of the conversations that we have with the city sometimes too, is Creve Coeur's been reevaluating their permitting because they know that sometimes it could be hard. And so they've tried to really look at that to make it more accessible for people to do help outs and stuff like that. That would be interesting to put that in there too.
The area that Bear sold is on the west side of Lindbergh, right? It's the gold building and someone like that they sold.
Yes, that was.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I believe so.
One next to the Schnucks that we were talking about. Yeah. It was,
I'm just, for those that are interested in chamber. For Better insurance.
Yeah, I just wrote, numbers you can see. I'm sure it's show that they're. It's through the chamber, so we're attached.
There, whatever is the deer hunt. And blue,
I don't know. You know,
it's too small on the south side and the east side, they're, the way they're terracing it, it's just.
Yeah.
Up the hill to get forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to ask, and obviously that's U City. Which we do have members that, we do have members that join us, you know, from U City, you know. Um. You know, we're putting down there, Costco. But that's something that, I continue to look at. And some of my board are also obviously really helpful, like any board member that's someone of the development committees and stuff like that as well, so they can also can be in the know. And we're trying to be a little bit more active in that area as well, because we had another new member who, thought he was gonna, because sometimes there's confusing, you open up a business and all of a sudden someone comes and gives you like the fire code, and it comes through and say, oh, we want you to do this, this, and this. And you're like, well, that wasn't in my budget, right? And you're like, well, you want me to do this, but is that code or you just want me, right? And that stuff sometimes is not clear. One of my board members stepped in recently and, said, you know, they wanted you to do it, but you don't have to do that, right? Because it would have cost them like $80,000 to like fix this elevator the way they wanted it, you know, kind of a thing. So, those little things are helpful when you have the contact. Sometimes it's not all about business referrals. Sometimes it's also just referrals from the community to help you out. Because there's so many people that, you know, the more you get to know, it helps me to be able to, oh, you should talk to so-and-so because they, you know, they're really good at that or whatever. And sometimes it is a business referral, but sometimes it's not. I mean, it's simple as, you know, like it's another connection that you have that you help the neighbor, whatever it is. So.
Your leadership group, you mentioned the board. How does that work? Are they people that have been board members for a long time? Are they doing rotating? How does that?
Yeah, so they're all people obviously have been active in the chamber. Our board president changes every year. So we have the president-elect and that pushes out, there is terms, they have been on there for a while, but they eventually would term out, they would have to step in. And we adjusted those. Have to adjust too many things, so, like, I think the most they can have is 3 consecutive terms of 7 years, so. And then they have to step down.
And how many people stand?
So it's me and 2 part-time people. So, something I'm evaluating. Because, you know, when I during COVID, we were below 7, so. Here we have a lot more events than we used to do. We used to do like 3 events a month, now we're doing like 7 a month, and, you know, ribbon cuttings and everything else too, so.
Where do you see that in the area that you serve the most need, where the nonprofits can step in and help?
That's a good question. Well, I know that financials have been hitting the communities in general, right now, right? Costs are going up in supplies and food and those sort of things, and that affects everybody. Obviously it affects our residents, it affects the restaurants and with how they supply that. I feel like the service industry too has been hit a lot, and so I'm trying to think as far as like charities, for example, I know you guys just did a food drive for like Ritter, right?
Yes, and we go and we work at the Coeur Food Pantry.
Yeah.
One meeting a month, whatever they need us to do. And I know there's a big St. Louis food bank out here somewhere.
Yeah.
But are there any other smaller food banks in that area, or are there?
Yeah, I mean, honestly too, like I could connect you with a lot of our charities that are in our group, you know, because they're all working on things that can help that way. And I'm impressed by the food bank because that's an obviously tangible way to really help people. I've seen people add that to what they're doing because they know it's needed. There's never enough. Because so like, I mean, I'm anxious this to Dana too. It might be an interesting thing for you guys or to Alex. I just printed this off of somewhere else. So this includes not just the charities, but the schools and stuff like that. Because I do think there's a lot of partnership here. So because they all serve in different ways. So and I can see some of them also partnering with you all, like if they wanted to do it right, like a church or something like that. But they all serve in different ways. So like Leftovers is a company that just they give supplies to like schools and scouts and stuff like that. It's pretty simple, straightforward. St. Louis Arc is more of like helps people with disabilities find jobs and educate them. But then and same with like Pathways to Independence, that's to do with people with disabilities. But then we have, the resale shops. We have, some school ones that help kids. So like the Kiwanis Club and the we have other clubs in here too. So I'm sorry, I'm just looking through here. But we also have people like Backstoppers and rescue responders, all different areas of it. The conference with veterans and stuff like that. So I guess there's different avenues in which you could do that. I'm sure a lot of these places would partner and host or let you know what their greatest need is right now. Because that's a lot of times what I ask them. Some of these organizations like yours do a variety of things, right? So like my mom who works for Assistant League, I'll be like, well, what's your greatest need right now? Because they raise money at their resale shop, but they put shoes on kids' feet for school, uniforms, but they also have different programs to help families, women and children and stuff like that. So it might be as simple as right now it's time for socks. It could be as simple as that, and sometimes it is money, but there's always something tangible to be looking at that we can help. So I'm sorry if I'm not. And then another charity we have in here is Job Seekers, and that's another one that's what started that just to help. Bob is a member of ours. He started during COVID. And it was because it was his way of developing a way to help people find jobs. So that's another avenue.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? One of the things that I'm sure the chamber does and Rotary does, we have something that guides the way we try to behave and act as community members. It's called the 4-way test. It's of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it benefit? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And so we'd like to present you with that. I usually, let's see, I usually carry one in my pocket just so I can give them away, but that's kind of the tenet of how we do things, the four-way test. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And if you will just stick around, we've got some announcements and but you're welcome to leave.
No, I appreciate that. I think actually, the ambulance said that when we leave.
Yeah.
Because we always, one of our meetings, we always start with a motivational thought and that's always good. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. We do have some announcements. Dan, would you like to talk about the shoes for orphan souls? For those of you who don't know, our district service project is called Shoes for Orphan Souls. And it's to literally raise a bunch of shoes to send to countries that need them. There are children all over the world who can't go to school because they don't have shoes. They, think about it, it's kind of astounding. So, a challenge has been made. District 6040 has been doing this for about 22 years running, and their best year, they raised 20,000 pairs of shoes in a year. And that sounds like a really hard number to overcome, but we did the math, and if every Rotarian, District 6060, bought one pair of shoes a month for the next year, that would be 20,000 pairs of shoes. Now, we're not talking about Gucci. We're talking about DSW, Shoe Carnival, whatever. They have to be new because, believe it or not, there's a law that says you cannot export used shoes. It has to be new. It can't be flip-flops. So we're talking about just a $15 pair of shoes from infant up to 18. But as we all know, there's 18-year-olds out there that wear size 16 shoes. My grandson. Yeah. That's number one. Number two, one of the things that amazes me about this club, the Spirit of St. Louis County Club, is that for as small as we are, we lead the district in like everything. I don't know, tallest, best looking, but there's, all these other things that we lead the district in when it comes to charitable giving and things like that. And because I'm the district chairman for this, I would humbly ask that my own club keep that up and lead the district in giving of these shoes. So we're going to get, I guess, a little more organized with this, but start thinking about once a month coming in with either a $15 pair of shoes that you got from DSW or Shoe Carnival to pull your weight, as it were, or if you would prefer to donate money, what happens is that this effort here will take all the money that is raised and then go to a Walmart or a Buckner or somebody like that and say, hey, we're going to buy 5,000 pairs of your last year's model. What will you do for us? To take those shoes off your hands, that sort of thing. And the board voted yesterday to make this effort the purpose of our cap grant, right? I believe that was pending at the present, yes? Yes. So that's the focus of our cap grant for this club. And should we talk about the matching gifts? Absolutely. We shall. So I'll leave that one. Okay, very good. Thank you for that. And yesterday I run the Wally Mart and picked something up, and I always go by the shoe department wherever I can just to see if there's any clearance shoes. I found it one pair that was on clearance for $8. I got to the checkout and it rang up as $4. So it's just a pair of loafers, kind of like what Al has on, but for kids that don't have shoes. And there have been, we talked about this with various clubs, and in some of the clubs in District 6040, they didn't want all their shoes going overseas. So what they did is they collected shoes. Half the shoes stayed in the community, kind of like what Tom was talking about, and half the shoes went to the shoes for orphan souls. So, but the challenge that Ann spoke about, we have one of our members who very graciously yesterday Since we have already met our goal, are we going to, board members, please correct me if I did not hear this right? Since we pretty much met our goal for the foundation, what this member has challenged us to do is to raise, he will match for our community chest up to $5,000. So if we concentrate on giving to the community chest for the rest of the May and June, for the rest of the year, that number will match up to $5,000. So if we raise 5,000 here, it becomes $10,000 to the majority.
Guys, let that soak in. Somebody just offered us $5,003 for our use for charitable giving. But we got a month and a half to go. So dig deep, folks, please.
Yes. So, and if you want to get to both, that's perfectly fine, but, that was a challenge, and I think it's wonderful of that person, so think about that, and, next time you sit down to write out checks for dues, just tell Ruth, hey, Ruth, here's one for the community chest.
Yes, let's all work together to make Ruth's job a little better. We'll get community shift. We use for any shoes or that.
Usually it's things extra outside, like the coats we bought out of community chest, dictionaries we bought out of community.
That.
Exactly, yes. So.
I just want to make sure. I didn't
Yeah,
understand.
and actually, we talked about having two different cat brands, but I think we're gonna focus on one. And basically, they're Colorado Golden Springs. What they do is they're gonna do this for the cat brand, and they will buy the shoes with the matching money to turn on. So.
So Jerry did some quick little math, that's about $250, and then we're gonna hit the match.
Here's the match. All right. So
Two
here's what
twenty
you-
for this month and a half.
for this month, they have to, so remember, we think it's going $250. Which means we would then have $10,000, then what, we got 5,000 now? in each chest? Okay,
So,
yeah. So,
so. Club's gonna refile
absolutely, yes, sir, absolutely.
it. I made that, so.
Oh, no. Or if you write a check for $50, there's another, it becomes 100. It's kind of like the Bill Gates matching Oh. But I'm saying, I'm thinking about those are on the public, retirement system, or on the fixed income that are not doing.
I mean, what can you give? Well, these shoes going overseas, they're gonna be grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm giving them gifts, but we all have, and it was not good enough for whatever, so. Enthusiasm.
Exactly. So, and you all know, we do good. And it's, we do good in the world, and that's, we do good in our community, we do good in the neighborhood. Speaking of doing good in the community, I have a thank you letter here. And if you all remember, we helped pack food, and not only did we help pack food, but we donated $250 towards the Kids Against Hunger program that was a couple of weeks ago out at the Rivers Mall. And I have a thank you note here from Margie Simmons, the past district governor, immediate past district governor. They raised $8,000 and 24,000 rice and veggie meals for the package. Other than the 4 or 5 meals that between Dave, Josh, and I still, oh no, wait a minute, we were able to have.
Yeah,
Well, I'll pass this around. We do have a couple of more items. The food pantry, May 31st, last Wednesday of the month. We have someone who is celebrating a club anniversary. That is, let's see, 32, Sunday, Monday. This person has been a member for 23 years. Let's give it up for Ruth Randall. Any first, how, and I forget what happened with Andy's, that was Andy's club anniversary. So you're fearless leader, once he reads correctly. We do have two drawings, we have a 50-50 drawing. Dave is working on that, and
Before you do the drawings, can I just make one quick announcement? First of all, we're doing the trash pickup. Didn't we talk about doing that?
June 14th. So we're making, we'll have folks that can't make it, will go over and pick up the trash. Speaking of programs, something to squeeze you down there is. Surprisingly, but if you know, we're going to we talked about it in the meeting. It will be, you know, mentioned certain board members last night, calendar that takes all the board, all the members through the end. Within the assembly, we take all the assemblies, and I'm pretty happy. Everybody else is. We have, and we got to get it. We have all one in the rest of this year. I would love to see those share shortly. But I would love to see those right? In August and September, start defining the programs. It would be really helpful for me putting the newsletter together, that we have to contact somebody on the do on Monday morning. You have the program, who you got to in the newsletter, and I don't know what to do. Because Facebook and being a few months out allows us some wiggle room that if we don't have anything, we got time to do. Is that if looking at next weeks, that's what we do. So it takes all of us to make it work. I know what it's like trying to find programs, and I don't mind doing it when I'm doing it. I use that every possible. I would use somebody to hold me and I don't know. So we need it.
yes, very much so. And one of the things many enough to my district governor here, and several of them put out on Facebook the month of club. Here's who coming to speak. St. Louis 11 is one of them. They can put some pretty big names with the numbers they have, but the further out we can get on that, the better off we are. The union is working with a but he is trying to do that, and basically we will share the spreadsheet somehow with all of you. And if your name, somebody finds a speaker that can talk on your date, unless you let Dave know or fill it in on the spreadsheet, and you get somebody beats you to it, because that's when this captain can speak, August 15th, then it's kind of fair game. But we really need your help. The more interesting speakers we get, the more our members will want to be here, and the more we can possibly get outsiders.
The other angle too is we did this before, I just dropped it, I'm starting it back up again. You go to the website on the right-hand side, you will see a list of events, and it will give each week's program. And obviously want to keep that film. And for them to be involved in the newsletter, thank you all again. individually fund those. So there's plenty of way that, you know, good now, it's been already.
Just to follow up on Dave, now what about June 14th for the trash pickup?
Yes.
Where?
Actually, the 21st,
I'm sorry?
June 20,
You said 14th, you said 14th.
it's 21st is the.
It's a shame when they do.
Oh, that's right, we're taking the 14th.
And June 21 is.
On the 21st.
The 21st will be here. We're able to do over the weekend, we can go to, from over to McAllen.
The point I was trying to get to is wear your yellow vest for the pictures that we're gonna do at the trash pickup. Those of you who have yellow vests, or if you have one of those Rotarian at work t-shirts, wear that for the photographs.
Right.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, we will do the drawing, this drawing, and I know this is disappointing for you.
Oh.
I mean, if you read.
Never mind.
So. It's tough.
The Joker. I'm gonna predict he doesn't get the Joker. I'm just saying. I don't know. Well, it's supposed, there we go.